They say change is as good as a holiday, and boy, are we in for some changes. Let's get into it. So the biggest thing to come out of today is that Graham Wright won't be returning to the Collingwood Football Club after a, 7-8 month sabbatical since the start of the year to Europe and to the US. And Graham Wright's absence has been something that we've talked about on this channel before, and I see it in my comments, I see it in DMs saying, is Collingwood the way that they are right now because there's no Graham Wright? Now, remember Graham Wright, the GM of football at Collingwood. He had his hands in all these different honeypots. He was doing lots of list management. He oversaw Buckley leaving, Craig McRae coming in. He oversaw a raft of trades. We got, Lipinski, Dan McStay as a free agent, Lockie Schultz, Bobby Hill, Nathan Kruger. I'm probably missing a couple of other guys, but Tom Mitchell as well. How can I forget Tommy Mitch? And so he oversaw a lot of the football department. As a general manager of football, he oversaw everything pretty much. And he was always on the bench, always helping out. And then at the start of the year, he says, look, I've been doing this for 30 years. I don't want to do it anymore. And he hands in his resignation to the club. And the Pies, Jeff Brown, the board say, no, look, we don't want you to, we don't want you to leave Collingwood. We love you here. You've done so much, so many good things for us. If we can't convince you to stay, what about we keep you on the payroll as a consultant, and we'll be in contact with you throughout the year. You can help us here, you can help us there while you're drinking, Sean Don on the beaches of Santorini, while you're at Times Square in New York City. And you can still help us out. Would that be possible? Graham Wright said, yeah, give me a sabbatical for 8 months. I'll pick up the phone when I need to, write you a couple of emails, and we can go from there. That wasn't a real conversation. That's me just having a little bit of fun, but it went something like that, right? You would think anyway. And then today or yesterday, he came out and said he doesn't want to come back. This was something that we probably saw coming. The writing was on the walls for a couple of months now. There was rumblings that he wasn't going to come back. The Age, Michael Gleeson and Jake Niall released an article today saying that there might have been some tension between Graham Wright and Chief Executive, our CEO, Craig Kelly, both who were in the 1990 Premiership together. So it's saying that that might be some of his decision to leave the Pies. There could be some rumblings there. Multiple sources from Collingwood and the AFL industry who requested anonymity to speak freely have confirmed that tension had developed between CEO Kelly and Wright during a difficult year in which we missed finals. Difficulties arose after Collingwood's hierarchy opted to give Wright several months leave this year and to reshape the football department in his absence. So when, how I see it, and we'll talk about the reshuffle and what this sort of means, how I sort of see it is Graham Wright handed in his resignation. He wanted to leave, and we kept him around in some sort of capacity and paid, and he was still on the payroll. It's kind of like if you're in a relationship and, let's, not that this was toxic, but let's just say a toxic relationship, right? And they're like, I want to leave. And you just beg them to stay. And then you go, okay, but you can do whatever you want. But as long as I still sort of keep you on the side or whatever it may be, you can do what you want, and this will be fine. It doesn't work. That stuff doesn't. If someone wants out, they want out. They don't want to. You can't sort of mend that bridge, especially if they've handed in their resignation. So you could kind of see this happening 7 months ago when it was sort of started. He was going to be back for finals, and we don't make finals. And it's disappointing because Graham Wright, he has amazing knowledge of the football world. He's been in there for 3 decades, premiership player. He saw Hawthorn that sort of rebuild and all their premierships. He saw our rebuild. He got us a premiership. So Graham Wright did a lot for this football club. He definitely deserved his holiday. I'm not saying that he didn't deserve his holiday. But I think it was Collingwood, in my opinion, it was Collingwood that needed to let go, because then what happens, it's like a little domino effect, right? Graham Wright wanted to leave. We could have then just gotten another GM of football from somewhere else and or reshuffled our own sort of thing. But knowing that he's leaving, knowing that he's not coming back, wiped our hands, Pontius Pilated our hands clean of that. And then, we don't have him in the back of our mind. He can do what he wants. What happened then was Graham Wright left. He might have been coming back as the GM of football. Things had to get reshuffled. Lepic became, it says it here, he was given some list management responsibilities. Brendan Bolton became the GM of football, and insiders are saying that Brendan Bolton doesn't want to do that now, and there was a bit of tension between Justin Lepic and Brendan Bolton this whole year. So you can see that, I'm not saying that there was infighting or anything like that. That's not what's sort of been reported, but you can see that there might have been some tensions with this reshuffle with Graham Wright, and it was just that little domino that had bigger effects down the track, and it was a little domino that gets pushed. The big domino that falls right at the end is that Collingwood don't make finals. And I'm not saying that Graham Wright's decision to leave and Collingwood's decision to hold him in as much as they could was the only reason why we didn't make finals. We played shit this year. But I think it was definitely part of it. And I think this kind of confirms that Wright's going to leave. What is likely to happen now, as being reported by The Age, is that Lepic is going to become head of list management in the new football department. The head of it, which is really cool. Justin Lepic wants to get into that. He's knocked back a couple of offers. There was that rumor going around that Essendon, he was going to Essendon. That's not going to happen. He's going to become head of list management. I think we might see close to the ending of Derek Hine and a new era sort of usher in with that sort of draft and trade sort of thing with Heine. But we won't. That's just me speculating. We're not going to really know. There's talks that Wright is being offered roles at the AFL. He might go back to Tasmania, or not back. Well, he's from Tasmania, but he might go to the new Tasmanian team. Two AFL clubs have offered him a position. What positions? We don't really know that yet. And there's rumors murmuring. There's rumors bumbling around that Brendan Bolton won't be at the Pies next season either. So I think there's going to be a major reshuffle coming up. We're going to have some new people coming in, and I think it's going to be good for us. Get a couple of new ideas, couple of new people around Craig McRae to sort of help him out a little bit more for things that he couldn't see. I think Adam Simpson would be someone really cool from the Eagles, that we could get in. It would be really nice to see that. A couple of other new assistants maybe, or is there going to be more restructure? But change is as good as a holiday. So I think Collingwood, we really stagnated this year. And we need to shave some of the excess sort of stuff off and bloom, because that if there's any gardeners watching, that if you want to sprout and bloom more flowers, you got to cut off the old ones for new ones to grow. So maybe that's what happens with the Pies, and this offseason is going to be huge. Josh Fraser isn't going to be our VFL coach anymore. It's going to be Andy Otten, who was in a development role. There's no word on if Josh Fraser is sticking around with the club as an assistant coach or development coach or something like that. But it'll be Andy Otten with the VFL now. So lots of shuffling, lots of restructuring, bunch of people leaving the Pies at the moment. And it's going to be an interesting off-season. I think it's going to be akin to the offseason that we had a couple of years ago, where we got, not that we're getting rid of big players, but there's going to be some big changes. I don't know why, but I can just feel it in my stomach. I hope it's not true. I hope my stomach's wrong. It usually just tells me that I want dumplings. So let's hope that it's just that I'm craving dumplings. But anyway, guys, I just want to give you my thoughts on Graham Wright, update you guys on the situation. Let me know your thoughts down below. Is it a good move? Is it a bad move? Everything in between. Let me know. Jumpers, my new hoodies, go on sale on Wednesday. I am so keen for you to get your hands on them. I cannot wait. But until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets. And until next time, double checkers. I'll swoop you later.